What is up, everybody? It is Friday, December. I don't know why I had to stop, Nick. I don't know why. I think it's because it's December 30th, 2016. Tomorrow's the last day of this year, and I, God damn, I just can't wait. I cannot wait. Now I know that it's not going to be all better because we elected a fascist president, but I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of excited to be doing the show and this be the last one for the year, because as y'all can see, it's titled "Airing of Grievances." Yay! Oh, by the way, hi Nick. For the last time this year, hi. How are you?
I'm good. I want to say hello to everyone, and I'm hoping the world doesn't end tomorrow because it's 2016 and we don't know what happens, but every day is a new adventure, right?
Oddly enough, I
Every
kind of
day
hope
is
it does end tomorrow.
I would like to do more things in the world before the world ends. I'm just saying.
Well,
There are
okay,
things
look,
I would like to do.
I think everybody would like to do more things, but when you think about it, we're probably better off just all dying tomorrow night. Like midnight rolls around, like in waves, and then you see this mad panic because everyone's like, "Oh God, I've got an hour to get out of my time zone," and you run and run and run and run and run, and like if you're me and you're stuck in Texas, you're looking at like an 8 hour drive just to get to the other side of the state. So for me to actually lose an hour, I have to drive all day. So I would have to have so much advanced warning to get out, or I would just be dead. But you know what? That needs to be a movie. There needs to be a movie where each time zone progressively, like we starting with, like, I don't know, Greenwich time or whatever. You know, midnight rolls around and then people just randomly start dying, and then as each
Well,
hour
uh,
progresses, more and more
the
die,
way
and then
I
people.
could the way I could see it being done is the sun becomes so hot that it starts just scorching the earth. And so you have to get into a plane or spaceship and fly around the earth to avoid being burned to death.
Someone needs to make, you know what we need to do. We need to take donations on our Patreon and uh make a movie like that. So those of you watching right now, there's like there's our content information. There's our YouTube page and our Facebook and our Patreon and our Twitter and our Twitch that we don't really use for anything anymore. Please send us your money and we can make this movie. We can make them. I mean, if Michael Bay can make movies, I'm pretty sure that Nick and I can make movies too.
We will make the best movies, the biggest,
It would
the
that
hugest,
that would be huge. That would be huge.
huge. Like we would get the best people to work on them. The best.
We would get huge people toward them.
We know people. We know
Yeah,
people.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, we'll make a movie. We'll make a movie about this, and everyone's dying, and and instead of it being, I don't know, what was the last disaster movie? 2012. What I think it was. It'll be 2017. So like, actually, you know what? It can be a sequel because everyone is making sequels and reboots and prequels and shit. And just, I don't know, off the top of my head, Star Wars, which I want to get to in a minute because I want to talk about something about Star Wars. Well, um,
Uh,
yeah, we can make a sequel to whatever that last disaster movie was, and it can be like 5 years later, because it's like Earth is not done with you yet, and Earth has contacted the sun. The sun's like, you know what? That's a good idea. And then the sun builds a giant yes, a magnifying glass. That'll do it. No, no, better yet, not have the sun scorch the earth, have God do it. Like God comes in and he's got a magnifying
But
glass and he's like, "You assholes did it to my ants."
see, the problem is that if you do it, well, I want it like a continuous problem, like it never ends. Like you're just eternally running away from the end of the world. See, that's a disaster movie.
Well, see, okay, yeah. After you do that, you can run away, but you only have an hour at a time. So like you get like say from here where I'm at, and then I get over in El Paso, I'll have an hour. I can have an hour to get something to eat and refuel the plane and whatever. And then I just have to go again for another hour. Then I wind up in I don't know Los Angeles or somewhere like that. You know, like somewhere over there, and I don't know. But I can tell you that it does seem to be 1,000 times better than Mad Max Fury Road. 1,000 times better. Because the original Mad Max actually had a point. Fury Road did not. Oh, I'm
I
not gonna miss
I
this year.
I didn't. This is one case where I genuinely disagree with you, or because usually you like things. No, well, I mean, no, usually you like things and I don't like something. This is one case where you don't like something and I actually liked it. I liked Fury Road. I don't know. I just liked it. It was just fun.
It
I
has
guess.
it has its good moments, but most of them just it, I I just have problems with it. I will say this. I will say this. The bad guy in the movie, Immortan Joe, I think is his name. He's probably my favorite one. My favorite villain, and there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. His voice in there. If you go to what was it? The 40-man entourage in World of Warcraft, and Prophet Scarum is like the first boss is up and he's screaming at you. That's what Immortan Joe sounds like to me. He sounds like a 8-story tall giant beetle man that has come up out of the earth and is going to kill me. That's what he sounds like, and I
Which
think that is
cool.
fucking amazing.
It's cool. It is. I like that. I like that idea. I like that being the thing. That makes me happy.
He does for real. He really does. Go listen and find the audio soundtrack for the Prophet Scarum and Immortan Joe and listen to them and tell me it doesn't sound alike.
I completely agree with you. He does. He does. But yeah.
Now the
So
now the like oh god okay. There's so many negatives to this movie for me. Um, the number one negative thing has actually got to be Tom Hardy. And I don't know if it was the last episode. It was one of the most recent ones where I wound up imitating Tom Hardy, but it's just because he can and he has another movie coming out, and he just got shit all over his face again, and it's just weird to me because he has that weird grill thing, and this is like this is not long after doing Bane, so with Bane you have and it's like, oh well, it's slightly more open because he has that grill thing, the grill mask, and then the movie he talks
I
like this
think
and he just walks around talking
maybe
like
the
this the whole
problem
time.
I think maybe the problem I have with Fury Road is it's probably the lamest Mad Max. ever.
It's
Like
stupid. It's fucking stupid.
he's
And
he's just
and
kind of there, and everyone else is doing things. And I think I like the movie more for everyone else in the movie, and not Mad Max.
yes, exactly. It's supposed to be a Mad Max movie, but yet he is not the central character. The one-armed Charlize Theron, whatever the hell she's supposed to be, that's the central character in the movie, and it don't make
Which
no
is
damn
cool.
sense.
She's cool. No, she's cool.
No,
I
she's
like
not.
her. You know,
No, no,
I like
go,
her.
no, no,
I like
go, no. Go back and watch the movie with an objective mindset and think about all the negative things I could possibly say, and then watch it that way. Like don't watch it as saying, you know, I I kind of like Charlize Theron. I like Tom Hardy. I like the dude that plays Beast in the X movies. I can't ever think of his name. He's in there. Go back and watch it, and just kind of take a step back and say, okay, I'm gonna find all the negative things that Jonathan has found about it, and just make a list, and we'll compare lists after it's over. And and I will even make some popcorn and get a soda, and we can sit, and I'll give you a hug when you realize it's a terrible movie. It's a terrible,
If
terrible
you
movie.
bring me
And
if you bring me popcorn and soda, I will sit and watch the movie with you. I don't know if I'll
okay,
find it to be bad, but I will watch it again.
no, no, okay, look, there's a very specific reason I dislike it, and I don't want to sound like an asshole here, but since we've titled this episode "Airing of Grievances," okay, here's the thing. The movie is a vehicle for feminism. Okay? Now, feminism is wonderful. It has its high marks, but 2016 has shown us nothing but the low points for feminism. Jesus, there are some stupid motherfuckers out there. Anyway, um, god damn. The movie is supposed to be the message of feminism, like that. That's why you have this little cult of young women who are Immortan Joe's wives, and Immortan Joe is this diseased, terrible individual, who screams at you and he wants to murder you because that's what all men are. And then you have the good men who basically keep their fucking mouths shut all the time, and that would be represented by Max in the movie. And then uh, the little cultist dude who escapes, who's played by the guy that plays Beast, he's like your best friend. And I am not even fucking joking. That when the movie came out and I started reading about it because I happen to like Mad Max. I happen to like the general storyline. It's an interesting uh, plot device that for a movie, that there's the world's a desert, whatever. It's interesting. I started reading about it, and I am not joking. That's what the movie's supposed to represent. It is supposed to be a movie that empowers women, and it does it in what's got to be the dumbest way possible, because every woman I know who has watched it has not enjoyed it. And I asked them, well, did you get the sense of female empowerment out of it? No, I didn't know what was going on. If I don't know what's going on, and it's kind of my job, like within the context of our show, to watch these things and be like a cultural zeitgeist expert and be able to comment on these things. If I can't figure out what's going on, then who the hell else can? I don't understand the fucking movie. It's terrible. It's goddamn terrible. I'm sorry.
It,
I'm sorry. It's just a waste of money, and it's trying to add a message to something that's not supposed to have a message to it. It's just supposed to be a movie you go and watch for mindless entertainment. Go back and watch the other Mad Max movies and tell me there is some kind of political message in there. Because there isn't. It's not like Kevin Costner's Waterworld, which was a terrible movie as well, because that's about the dangers of global warming. Do you think I watched that movie and thought, oh, shit, Maybe I ought to carpool? No, I didn't. I thought, oh shit, this is the worst movie Kevin Costner, one of my favorite actors, the man who was in Dances with Wolves. This is the worst movie this man's ever made. It's terrible. I
So,
actually watched The Postman.
the
Now,
the
damn it,
postman was
hang on, damn it. I'm
awesome.
not done airing my grievances. The Postman movie, which is kind of a follow up to Waterworld for the political message type thing, is better. It's better, and no one likes The Postman. I would rather watch The
But
Postman because it's such a better,
I would
it's so much
agree.
more of a better movie than Waterworld is. And like the only person I know who watches Waterworld is like, oh, I love the movie, is my mom. My mom's the only one who likes Waterworld. Only fucking person I have ever met who can sit through the movie and enjoy it is my mom.
Your mom is an amazing person. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I mean, Fury Road definitely failed to deliver the message it was supposed to convey to people. It doesn't work. It doesn't do it. And also, the weird cultist guy that becomes the best friend is also just really odd. It, I think if I had a problem with the movie, he's the biggest problem I have with the movie. He just seems so random and out of place for most of the time. But I think I actually watched the movie ignoring the political message behind it, and when you do that, it becomes enjoyable. But that's the I will agree with you that it has a terrible job at delivering the political message it's supposed to.
It does, and see, here's the thing. I am both at the same time a feminist and anti-feminist. And when I say anti-feminist, I'm talking about the people who on the internet, like for example, just to give a shout out to Undoomed because Undoomed is a god when it comes to this. If you go and watch Undoomed's videos, he points out how stupid some people actually are that claim to be feminists. I mean, people who say, well, um, actually, the best example I can give you here is people who say, um, that they are a non-binary transgender unicorn. People who say stupid shit like that generally they're morons. There's actually a term for them, and it's not my favorite one, SJW. It's actually trans trender. It's someone who's calling themselves trans because they want to, because it can be popular. Like Milo Stewart does this. Milo Stewart is just out there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Milo, if you ever see this, or anyone who knows Milo ever sees this, I'm sorry. And it's important. Okay. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because trans rights has become very central. What this is what the second year that it's been a very public discussion about what's been going on in the world. Especially after oh, I feel so bad. I forgot her name. Um, the 17-year-old girl who jumped in traffic. Nick, what was her name? I'm so bad. I'm sorry.
I can't remember. Yeah, we are very sorry. Very sorry.
I can see her face. I'll think of it later. I'm sorry. Anyway, after her story came out, and people started looking, saying, "Oh, hey, well, here's this. It's like 0.3% of the entire population in the United States is trans, and then we have laws that say they can be killed because you're afraid of them." Okay, that's not okay. And in somewhere in that discussion, the idea that, oh, I'm trans because I don't feel like I'm a boy today or I'm a girl today or whatever, whatever dumbass reason you have that you want to give for this, that's what people are doing. And if you spend 5 minutes watching these videos, there are people who are very clearly ignoring what reality is. and it's often labeled as like gender is a social construct. No, it's actually not. It's a biological construct. Everyone learns this in school. I learned it. Now, the point, the point I'm getting at here is that a lot of people have adopted the identity of being trans as who they are, and like for example, Milo Stewart, who I kind of feel bad because Milo is like 18, so it's like I'm punching a toddler here, but um, Milo's thing is according to I'm I want to say her, but Milo does not have a preference for a identity for in whatever. I don't know how to refer to Milo, so I'll just say third person type thing. Milo, you know. Anyway, Milo's thing is that Milo has been trans for 5 years. Well, here's the thing. Everyone I know who is transgender, and I know quite a few of them, and Nick, we know some of the same people here. Um, that's not a continued identity for those individuals. It's important to become who they are supposed to be. And one of my internet friends, Carla Lewis, who is famous and has gotten awards for being an activist for trans rights, has been spending some time. Now, this is kind of personal here. I'm sorry, but she's been in the hospital because she's been finishing her transition, and Carla is legally a woman. Is going to be recognized as a woman. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, she has given up who she used to be in favor of who she actually is. And that at that point in time, you know, you finish transitioning, you know, because the prefix trans is movement, it's change, it's altering. So you're changing your gender to what you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to become an attack helicopter or a unicorn and this whole gender non-binary bullshit that people are saying. No, no, it doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. You know, you don't get to say, well, I'm this and I identify as that, you know, and like I'm pretty sure we brought this up. I think it was Oxford or one of those schools a couple weeks ago has added a new rule that you can no longer misgender another student. You have to refer to them as Z, Zer, and Zim and Zay. Zer, Zim, and Zay. Which I'm sorry, that's stupid. And see, here's the thing. I know people who I'm friends with who want who prefer to go by gender neutral pronouns, and that's fine. But don't make shit up. You know, don't make shit up and then get angry when someone quote unquote misgenders you because you want to be a snowflake. Oh, damn. I I could keep saying a lot of angry things, but I'm not.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just airing grievances.
Yeah. Um, I mean, it it's just bad because it takes away from people that do have those issues and concerns and grievances and kind of really lessens and weakens their arguments, and that causes a lot of problems for them. So, yeah.
That said, I'm not saying all these. You know, again, this is just airing of grievances. I'm not saying that because the individuals I know who choose non-binary terms, you know, I'm not saying it because I think they're stupid. I'm not saying it because I think they're in the wrong. I'm saying it because there are people who are doing it just because they can. It's a fad. It's not who they actually are. It doesn't represent who they actually are. You know, it's just them doing it to get attention, and that's fucking wrong. It would be like, and the reason I'm saying it is because again, actual trans persons, people who have, people who like some of the people you and I know, Nick, They only make up 0.3% of the population. That's everybody. That's people with gender dysphoria, uh, people who just whatever, like whatever's causing it. The reality is, it's a very minuscule part of the overall population. Okay, there's actually more atheists in the United States than there are genuine trans people. But if you get on the internet and you look, you see they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And what it is it's those people who are essentially doing it because it's cool. It's like, um, for a while, there were people who decided they wanted to be gay because it was cool to be gay. No, it's a fucking lifestyle. It's how people actually are. They're attracted to people of the same sex. You can't just there's no fucking switch there where you just like, well, today I'm gay, tomorrow I'm not. You don't get to do that. There's an it it just pisses me off that people act like all this stuff is just a thing to be, and like it's like a costume you can put on. It's kind of like going to a like Comic Con or something like that, and you dress up as Princess Leia, you know, like any variation of Leia at all, and you're like, I'm Princess Leia for the day, ha ha ha, and people take your pictures and they admire the costume and you pose with a lightsaber, whatever. But when you go home, you're no longer Leia, and that's a lot of what th- this whole thing seems to me is people act like it's something that could just turn on and turn off, and that's uncool.
And now I'm sad.
Why is that?
Oh, because we lost Princess Leia.
I know, I know, I know, I know. It's goddamn. I think I think I probably cried more over her than I have people in my family. Like when my last
There was,
grandparent died, it actually took
I,
me a week or so before I would cry.
I actually saw something that made me really angry though.
Please don't say the cinnamon buns,
No, no, not the cinnamon buns.
because the cinnamon
There
buns just pissed me
was,
off. Well, it
there was a
it
pic.
the cinnamon buns didn't
Wait,
piss me off
wait,
at Cinnabon. They pissed me off at everyone getting angry about it. It's like, come on, it's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke.
no, no, no,
Carrie
no,
Fisher would have
no,
laughed at
no.
it.
There was something else. There was a picture of Princess Leia, in the slave outfit, and I'm not sure if this picture was real or from a real photo shoot or not, but she was on the beach or something, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed that they photoshopped it, and it's a really really obvious photoshopping because they made her breast bigger, and it's just plainly obvious. Now, number one, I have a serious problem with someone photoshopping in the first place. Number two, you're photoshopping someone that just died. And then, number three, they only photoshopped it or photoshopped one of her breasts, which just, to me, was just completely disrespectful. Because if you're going to disrespect someone, don't do it halfway. That just multiplies the disrespect to me. It made me really, really mad.
I can understand why it make you mad. I mean, it's this whole year has made me angry, and now I know our viewers at home cannot actually hear me right now, but I keep having to mute myself because I, I know we've talked about it before, But I've got lung problems. I have for a while, I've done really good. I've been really good. But I got a cold, so now I'm steadily descending into the general grievous coughing again. And Nick's getting to hear the whole thing. But the more agitated I'm getting thinking about the shit that's pissed me off, the more I want to cough. So 2016 is probably going to kill me eventually, and it's goddamn terrifying to think about that because there's already been, I mean, God, like other than Carrie Fisher, her mom died a day later. You know, I mean, I had a friend whose mother died this year. Another one whose newborn niece passed away. This is all within the span of a week here. And I mean, if you go
My
by,
my
uh,
my friend's grandmother died as well. It, it's just it's really sad. It's
it is.
sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad. But I was reading something today. It said just among police officers, there's been I think 138 police officers killed this year, which is pretty fucking high, you know. But there's also been firefighters who have died, paramedics who have died. There's been something like 14 uh, military personnel casualties this year. And then you look at celebrities, of course, and of course everyone freaks out about celebrities because they're famous. You know, we all like them. You know, they they help influence us and everything. Um, and the BBC did an article about this. I don't know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And they talked about trying to figure out if there are more celebrity deaths this year than there have been in the past. And as it turns out, yes, there actually have been. The way they figured it out was not looking at um, the number of deaths they've announced. They went solely by uh, the the number of prepared obituaries that they had that they'd released. And at the time the article was being written, I think it was like 43, something like that. And last year at the same time it was 36, something like that. You know, it was much more overall. And of course, this was like a month or so ago when it was published. And I think ABC last night did their own coverage, and they had, oh God, like I don't know, 26 people on theirs, and then we have on our Facebook page a list which probably should be updated with more names. That's got like 100 and some odd, and then our video we posted yesterday, Nick, has got 70 people. It's a lot of goddamn celebrities. A lot of famous people have died. And I mean, like people who you normally wouldn't even think of. Like, you know, earlier this year we had the creator of the Big Mac has died. The man who is credited with creating the Red Solo Cup died the other day. Neil deGrasse Tyson's father died. I mean, it's insane to think about all these people who are dead this year alone. I mean, it's weird and it kind of pisses me off.
I I think in a lot of ways, we're going to see a lot more celebrity deaths over the next few years than we have in the past because of the 70s and the 80s and the very high substance abuse and things like that during those periods of time. So I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if the following couple of years are very similar to this one, and we see a lot of celebrities going by the wayside, sadly, and it it's going it's a really sad thing to think about.
Well, see, okay, it's gone on a little more. like for a lot longer, a little more than what most people are aware of. I think. Like for example, uh, you mentioned people who are famous dying. Charlie Sheen actually got on Twitter the other day, and he wrote a tweet, and he says, "Dear God, Trump next, please. Trump next, please. Trump next, please. Trump next, please." And of course, that's getting some negative reactions because how dare you speak negatively of the oncoming storm that is our president elect? Like, how could you say negative things about this man? Blah, 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 whatever Fox News has to get pissed off about. I fuck Fox News. I'm goddamn. Earlier today, and if you want to see the video of this, it's on our Facebook page. Uh, my congressman, Louis Gohmert, was on Fox News. God damn that man. Um, God damn. I'm so sorry he won. But he's got to be the dumbest motherfucker in the world. Anyway, he's on Fox News. Fuck you, Louis Gohmert. And he was asked about how the United States has expelled like 35 Russian diplomats from the country, gave them 72 hours to leave, and then the FBI issued uh, arrest warrants for a number of known Russian hackers operating within the United States. So he decides to say that they're not going to leave. All they have to do is go to a sanctuary city like Chicago or Houston or these other places where they are, and then we can't get them out because these cities are defying the federal government. And then he decides to compare Obama to Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins, and he says that what Obama is he's the guy that's come in and no, I'm sorry, that would be Trump, who is the guy coming in, and I quote this motherfucker directly, is putting the medicine in the water and then freeing the city. The one who put the stuff in the water in the movie was the Scarecrow. The goddamn Scarecrow. So, point being, my congressional representative cannot make a proper analogy to anything. And that's just another thing that 2016 has brought us is stupid goddamn politicians.
Yeah, but that's the same every year.
I
It's
don't
the
know.
same.
It might actually be worse this year.
Although this might be, it actually is worse. We finally achieved being worse.
I feel like I'm gonna have to bring up a slideshow of some of the negative things this year. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So yeah, a slideshow of some of the negative things that have gone on in 2016. Like, I don't know, Aleppo, all the fun over there with murdering children, and then we're gonna have, how about the DAPL riots, protests? I'm sorry. Obama shaking hands with the president elect, and all these wonderful negative things this year that have gone on, like mass shootings in Orlando. Who can forget that? Fun times, right? How about the Zika virus? With mosquitoes and diseases we can't cure. There's so many things, Nick. There's so many things. Like telling the refugees from all these countries that are coming here with boatloads of people that are dead. You can't come here. It's the same thing we told the Jews. Same goddamn thing we told the father of Anne Frank when he came over here on a boat with 999 uh, other other Jews trying to escape Nazi persecution, that they weren't welcome here. They weren't welcome here at all. But hey, the Cubs won. The Cubs won, and Oscar Pistorius had to walk on his stubs in court, and then we had a Turkish ambassador get assassinated. That's good. Or what about Obama going to Cuba? That was fun. Obama going to Cuba. Well, he's a terrorist. He's a communist. He's a socialist. How about people getting arrested in the streets? I can keep going. I can keep saying things because you're seeing them on screen in front of you right now. Even like Nick, this is all the things I sent Jordan. I said, look, I want to talk about these things. You know, or oh, how about Rodrigo Duterte, who the other day admitted he has thrown people out of helicopters, the dead people in the streets. How about the natural disasters we have had this year? There are so many things I can talk about, Nick.
Well, one of the other good things you missed was Leonardo DiCaprio winning an Oscar.
Who gives a shit?
I think,
Who gives a shit? No one
I,
liked the movie.
well, no,
Oh
no, no.
wait, I
I
love the
think
movie.
what happened was things that were never supposed to happen happened, and now the world has broken.
Now, don't no, 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 okay. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the images that we're showing right now, um, they're really, really, really positive. Some of them are, like Usain Bolt, the Olympics, actually looking over his shoulder and that grin. It's like I'm winning. And then I don't know. God, just thinking of some of the people who have died this year, celebrity people, like Muhammad Ali dying, the thousands upon thousands of millions of people who got out in the street for him, but then you go back to fucking Aleppo, which there's supposedly going to be a ceasefire. I don't know how long it's going to get. I don't know how long it's going to last, or you know, but goddamn, there's been some terrible shit this year. Terrible, terrible shit. There's been, let's see, the bombings. There's been the shooting in Paris. I, I don't know what all else we've had going on, Nick, this year. Like, is there more that's happened?
There might be. I just started to lose track. I've genuinely started to lose track.
How about Hillary Clinton? Let's talk about Hillary Clinton because that was where our slideshow ended. Let's talk about Hillary Clinton and the dangers that we would have been in had we elected her over the dangers we're going to be in with the jackass that we have now. This will be fun. This
Okay,
will be a really
go,
good grievance to air.
go ahead. Go on.
No, 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 no. You go first.
I want to hear what you have. I want to hear what you think. What would happen?
No, you can air a grievance for once.
I do have a grievance, but it's not about Hillary Clinton.
Oh?
It's not. I After watching, well, remember when we showed Mobile Suit Origins?
Yeah?
It made me realize that how do I put this? See, before I just thought I genuinely disliked Xeon, but now I realize I actually kind of hate Xeon, and I hate the people that defend Xeon too.
So you hate me? I see how it is.
Well, the reason I hate them is because they genuinely remind me of the Tea Party. Like, if you really watch it, if you just pay attention and watch the thing, you can't tell me they're not exactly like the Tea Party.
Well, I don't know about the Tea Party, honestly, because they're supposed to be Nazis. Supposed to be Nazis. They are not the alt right. Or, no, no, wait. I have to tell my favorite joke right now. I have a funny joke. I have a funny joke. Um, and I've kind of stolen it from Saturday Night Live here. The alt right is what is known as in Germany the reason why grandfather has to live in Argentina.
Hilarious.
It's true. It's true. They're Nazis. They're Nazis, and they helped to get a president elected. And I'll be honest. I'll be honest. That's not really generally that terrible of a thing. And here's why. it's not that I'm saying we need to have uh, 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 racial hate groups in power, because we've had it before. Woodrow Wilson comes to mind. But it's not too terrible because this is just Americans helping to get someone elected. It's not like, I don't know, he had a foreign goddamn government helping him to get elected, and then the FBI and the CIA, the Justice Department, even WikiLeaks all acknowledge this, and then now here it is. Oh well, we just need to get over it. We need to move on, and things will be okay. No, things will not be okay. And I know we have talked about this before, but I want to mention this again. The Electoral College actually functioned this year, and it only functioned to do the thing, or actually, it functioned enough to not stop the thing it's supposed to prevent, which is a foreign power taking over our elections process. It didn't prevent that, but it did work. It did work, because whatever,
So should we
whatever.
just go to the popular vote? Like, you know,
No, we don't need to go to the goddamn popular vote because we've already acknowledged what would have happened if that had happened. We would have had Hillary Clinton as a president. And have we said enough negative things about that woman yet?
I don't know. Have we? I, I mean, she might have started World War III, but she might not have started World War III.
I don't think might.
Maybe Donald Trump would
I,
start.
I don't think might. I think she would have started World War III. And see, the thing is, I think she would have started it, only we would have been on the right side. And I think when Trump starts it, we're not going to be on the right side. We're going to be on the bad guy's side. Like, we're going to be the Nazis this time. I can see it happening. I can see it happening because Rodrigo Duterte in the Philippines, and we've discussed this before, that's basically the position of we'll we'll just say Japan. Okay, we'll just say he represents the Empire of Japan, and again, this crazy bastard, and I do mean he is fucking crazy. For anyone who's not aware of it, he's fucking crazy. He has said multiple times that he has executed individuals. And by the way, those of you who are watching at home, you're getting to see on screen right here a dead body illuminated in the streets of Manila by news cameras because this happens this often. It's terrifying. There's reports of people being just discovered. They're just laying there. They're dead, drug out of their homes. They're suffocated. They're shot. There are people who have been stabbed to death. Like there's been bounties placed on people. It's kind of like if you again the reason I said Japan a moment ago is important right now because I'm just gonna bring this shit show full circle here. God damn, during World War II, Japan, well, actually, a little before World War II, and then the early part of it, Japan actually invaded China, and there's a thing called the Rape of Nanking. Now, rape is usually, defined as unwanted sexual penetration. Like that's the dictionary definition. But go look up Nanking, and you tell me how this city was not raped, how the people of China were not raped repeatedly by the Japanese. All of the horrific things the Japanese did to them, all these wonderful things that we're supposed to be like, oh well, it was in wartime. Da, 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 da. Like all the things that we had the goddamn Geneva Accords for that say, well, you can't do these certain things because it's inhuman, it's cruelty, like using a triangular shaped bayonet, which is what was used for the longest time. You're not supposed to do that. Thanks to our Civil War, by the way, thanks to the United States here, because we had one of the largest industrialized modern wars in the 19th century. Um, actually, conveniently around the time that the Red Cross was founded and that the first Geneva Accords were founded because of us. Because of us. These rules are in place because of the United States here. God. Anyway, um, you can't do certain things in war, and Japan kind of did all of them. Okay, you're not. Ideally, you shouldn't have a world leader who throws people out of helicopters and says that I want to kill 3 million people and then put their bodies in the ocean. You shouldn't have things like that in the world. But that's what the Philippines has. That's what the Philippine people are having to deal with is this crazy asshole. And then you think, oh, well, who else would be in this? Okay, just shift Germany and Italy over to Russia. Oh, no, better yet, no. Russia and Syria. There you go. Okay, Russia and Syria. Because Russia would be Germany, I would think, and Syria could be Italy. Yeah, this is kind of a fair comparison here. Um, but where's the United States going to come in? Oh, well, uh, there's not really any comparison to any other country in the world, except, well, actually, because Russia fucked around in our elections, we would have to be part of Germany, so we would have to be Nazis too. Yay! Yay! What? Yay! Wonderful, wonderful idea there.
Yeah, I'm just sad now.
Jesus Christ, this year has been fun.
You say fun, I say incredibly depressing.
It is depressing. It's very highly depressing. But I mean, at least Jessica Negri is having fun, right? Like she's somehow being positive.
I mean,
Oh
I
no!
am a
Wait,
fan of.
wait! I just
Huh?
I totally forgot that that she posted on her Facebook page. In fact, Nick, I told you about this. I don't think we talked about it on the show, and this is not really an airing of a grievance for me so much as it is me pointing out something. Apparently, a while back, there was a picture of Jessica that she told everyone on her Facebook page they should put on their toilet lid and use as practice. I not sure how to take that, but I think that posting a picture of a woman on your toilet lid for practice is kind of an analogy for this year. It's like the world is just going to piss all over all the beautiful things for like a day and a half. And then it ends. Except for it won't end on time, at least, because 2016 is going to be 2 seconds longer.
Wait, it's gonna be 2 seconds longer?
Yeah, the axis of Earth has shifted, and 2016 will be 2 seconds longer than 2015 was.
That's somehow really depressing.
It is. It is. It's like 2 further seconds of this nightmare of a year. Now, I gotta be honest, there have been some really awesome things this year. Like with some really good things, but like the collective response to 2016 is fuck this shit. 2017's got to be better. It's got to be like even the little retards over at MTV. Oh my god, I just said the word retard. Who gives a shit? It's a word. Shut up. No, actually, no. I do mean it as an insult this time. I literally mean it as an insult because MTV posted a video that they had to take down, and then they posted it again, and they took it down again, and then reposted a third time, and then took it down again. But thankfully, to the magic of the internet and the wonderful people on it, it's still out there. MTV posted a video blaming all of the problems of 2016 on, can you take a guess, Nick?
No. No.
White people.
Eh.
White people. MTV is blaming all the problems in 2016 on white people. No, I'm sorry. It's not all on white people. All of the problems in the world have never been on solely on white people. Yes, white people have done some terrible things. You can point out to me the fact that white people coming here to colonize the United States, or what became the United States rather, killed 90% of the native population. That's fine. But did you think that all of those people were getting along wonderfully and happy? That maybe they weren't possibly at war with one another? Maybe the climate wasn't changing? There's a bunch of reasons you can factor in there to why they all died. And here's the thing about this: the estimated 90%. That's an estimate. We don't actually know. It's just based off of written observations. And the problem with the written observation thing is that the people who first came here and encountered these people would write about these gigantic villages and all these people and everything, but there's no way of confirming it. There's no way to confirm that there were as many people here in the contiguous Americas as there were in, I don't know where the closest example would be today. I don't know, like all of China. I don't know, but it was some number in the millions of people here apparently that were just all over, thick as fleas. No, I I don't think that their decline is solely on the backs of white people. Just like I don't think the North American, the North Atlantic slave trade is solely on the backs of white people. Yes, white people did terrible things, but do you know who sold those slaves into slavery to begin with? Their own tribesmen from their own countries. Yay! And what about the slavers in the Caribbean? Were they white people entirely? No. What about black people who owned slaves? What about them? Because the first slave in the United States was actually a slave belonging to a black person. So shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, goddammit. Sorry, it's just that's one of those things I wanted to say all year. And I realize that that's going to be a very unpopular thing for me to say. Even I don't fully agree with me saying it, but to me, the worst thing about this video that MTV put out is not the fact that I'm trying to defend white people here. It's the fact that I shouldn't be defending white people. I shouldn't be. Okay? Because this video should not have been made. What if, for example, I were to make a video tomorrow, Nick, or you were to make one, or anyone were to make one, and we said, all the problems in the world are solely on the backs of black women, or Asians, or Mexicans, or I don't know, we just decided to not be polite and we switched out, you know, you know, uh, Asian or black or Mexican with something that's a little more derogatory, a little more insulting. Instead of blaming all the crackers, we blame the other racial epithets. How bad would that make us look? Because keep in mind, we have people who've said these things about our upcoming president. All these negative things. A white man saying all these negative things. And it would be terrible. We couldn't do that. Like, there's no way to even defend that because it would be racist. It would overwhelmingly be racist for me or anyone else to say these things about someone with a different skin color or ethnicity than what I have. It would be racist. It would be. So why then is there a video saying all these negative things about white people and it's not racist?
I mean, I understand, but I think if you're the reigning power of whatever, people get to blame you. It's just the way it is.
No, no, they don't. Because you see, here's something else that's not acknowledged that often in this. Do you know why there's so many white people in politics, Nick?
on.
Do you know why? Do you have a guess? Any guess at all?
Hold on.
While you're thinking, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you. There's a lot of white people who hold political office because white people are more likely to actually run for office than someone who is non-white. It's just apparently never been a thing in the black community to run for public office until recently. And there are people who still say, well, it's racism inherent in the system. Okay, yeah, I'll I'll agree with that. However, we've ended segregation, we've ended slavery. Black people actually had the right to vote in the United States before women did. So, at what point in time has everything no longer been your responsibility to get out and do something? Yes, there are some terrible, terrible white people who have tried to hold everyone else back, but it's not like, for example, me running for office, okay? Because I've done it. It's not that I thought that if there was a black man or a Hispanic woman or whatever that wanted to run for that office, that I would be more qualified. Because I'm the first one to admit I didn't have very much public experience when I ran. I just ran because I wanted to, because it was fun, it was interesting, because I wanted to help. And if there was someone else who was non-white running for that same position, that'd have been awesome. That'd have been great. It'd have been wonderful. Okay? And I wouldn't care because, god damn it, you're getting involved. And that's the problem, is people want to sit back and bitch about something rather than get involved. And so to me, everyone's saying, well, the government's all these white people and they're causing all these problems. Run for fucking office yourself. Make the change. Get up off your butt and do something. Because, I mean, we've got a day and a half for 2016 left. Why don't you make that your resolution? Starting January 1st, you're going to make a difference. Why don't you be a person of color in the United States and say, I'm going to run for office. I'm going to go do something.
Mm, I mean, I just don't think it's that simple in this circumstance.
But it is.
To well, no, I mean, today that's more true than it was. But I think if you look back through history, uh, blaming people for not running is kind of unfair.
No, it's not unfair. It's really not. And there's a reason
Well,
it's not, hang on, there's a reason it's not unfair. Okay? There was a movie that came out this year. I actually watched it the other day. It's a wonderful movie. It's a true story. It's a story about a man in the Civil War whose name was Newton Knight. Now, if you know anything about Mississippi history, you'll recognize the name Newton Knight. Newton Knight is a man who deserted the Confederate Army because he was tired of fighting for people who wanted to keep people enslaved. Newton Knight was a white man, by the way. And if he had been caught by Confederate officials, he would have been executed. Okay? So what Newton Knight did was he ran and got some help, and he hid in a swamp with escaped slaves. These slaves helped him start a rebellion against the Confederacy. And as more and more Confederate soldiers deserted, they picked up more and more individuals. And what the Confederacy was doing in this area was putting a quote unquote tax on the population. They were stealing their clothing, they were stealing their food, their livestock, everything, and saying that it was to help the war effort. And all it was doing was lining the pockets of corrupted Confederate officials. Okay? So these now freed men and these white men took up arms against the Confederacy. And when William T. Sherman was moving in through this area, like around the time of the Battle of Corinth or so, Newton Knight and others reached out to General William T. Sherman and asked for help. and they were sent 100 rifles. They weren't sent any troops or anything. But here's the thing: the Confederacy did no, uh, uh, sent, I don't know, 1,000 or so infantry troops plus 500 or 600 cavalry after Newton Knights and his people, which at no point in time ever numbered more than 250. And these people were able to stop them. Okay? After the war, when Reconstruction was in place, Newt, as he was known, actually got the local black people to start voting because they were allowed to vote because the United States government passed that amendment. They were allowed to vote. Now, the problem was corrupted people got in their face and got in the way and blocked it. These people wanted to register as Republicans, and there were only 3 Republican votes cast in the county in where this all took place in, I think, 1876, somewhere around there. It was election of that year, and there were only 3 Republican votes cast, and they were all for white people instead of all the 30 or 40 black people they had, who would have overwhelmingly outnumbered the Democrats who voted that year. Now that would be corruption in place, but here's the thing: they kept at it and kept at it and kept at it until it became a federal law, and there was no way around it. States' rights couldn't come up around it anymore. So what happened was they changed the law. Okay, another thing that Newton Knight was able to do was when the 13th Amendment was passed at the end of the Civil War. It said that no state of slavery or voluntary servitude shall exist unless someone has committed a crime. So the state of Mississippi said, okay, all these former slaves are now criminals. Okay? Newton Knight changed that law. One man changed the law because it was wrong. Okay? Newton Knight's grandson was also told that he had to leave the state because he was 1/8 black. Because, guess what? Newton Knight's wife was a black woman. She had a child by him. Okay? That child had a kid. And here it is, 100 years later, here is his grandson who was 1/8 black and was told that his marriage had to be annulled because he had married a white woman because he himself was black even though he was white as fucking snow. Okay? But you know what he did? He stood up to the law. In court, in a court of federal fucking law, he said, no, I'm not going to change my plea. I am not guilty of violating your law. And he spent 5 years in prison. And guess what? The law was changed because Mississippi decided to not go against the Supreme Court because a black man, by their definition, had stood up against the law. If you want to change things, you have to make a difference. You can't just sit back and say, let's that asshole's fall over there. You have to do something about it. You have to. You have to be motivated to make a change. Like, for example, if we want 2017 to be a better year, we're going to have to make it a better year. We can't just sit back and sit here and shed more tears and be more angry and all angsty and upset over all of the shit going on in the world and say, well, we're not going to do anything about it. Like, for example, the siege of Aleppo. That was 4 fucking years, and finally it's ended. Finally it's ended because enough people got upset and started saying something about it. And 2016 ought to be enough fuel for an average person to say, look, I'm tired of taking shit from people. Look at how Trump got elected. People saying, I'm tired of taking shit from people. For all these years, they got tired of it. And that's what got his ass elected, was people getting angry about things. It wasn't just white people who got him elected. I'm sorry to break the news to some people out there who think it was just angry white people. It wasn't. It wasn't just hate groups. There was a lot of people who were angry over corruption in the system. They were angry because they didn't feel represented by a government that has not done a goddamn thing to help them. That hasn't. And it hasn't for a long time. Look at how we treat Native Americans today. Look at the Dakota Access Pipeline. The people who are protesting it are still there. They've already won. And they're still there. They're still there because there's still an injustice in the system. They're still doing it. The protest over civil rights and voting rights acts, stuff like that, are still ongoing. The Democracy Spring protests are still ongoing because people have to get involved. You have to. And literally all of 2016, we have made fun of people, all these social justice warriors who cry and bitch and moan about things. But the reality is, the crying and bitching and moaning is doing a little bit of something. It's at least getting people's attention. But still, if you're going to make a fucking change, you got to do something about it. You can't just sit there and not do a damn thing.
I like to call it for motivation, but I still blame white people for most things.
I'm going to blame you for everything. How's that? Goddamn robot.
That's fine. You can blame me if you want.
I will. I'm going to blame you because you're a robot.
But are you gonna do anything about it?
Yes, I'm going to unplug you. That way, you can't recharge. I don't know. I don't know how to deal with robots because I've been inundated with goddamn zombie nonsense. Like, the zombies apocalypse is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And the government's gonna come take your guns. You're not gonna be able to defend yourself. God. No. No. Zombies aren't real. The government's not gonna come take your guns. Ronald Reagan was not the devil. Jesus was probably not black.
Wait, Ronald Reagan was the devil.
You
I thought
shut
we
your
agreed
mouth.
on that.
You shut your mouth. Ronald Reagan is the greatest president we've ever had.
Haven't we done several shows where we explained why that's
Shut
not
up.
true?
Ronald Reagan is the greatest president we've ever had because everyone else since then has been a fucking disaster. Unmitigated fucking disasters.
But isn't that because of Ronald Reagan?
Yes, comparatively. Shut up, Nick. Stop trying to alter things. Goddamn white
But
robots.
I'm not altering things. I'm just telling the truth.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Ronald Reagan is the reason that all the other presidents have sucked. Because they're all trying to be like Ronald Reagan. And you know it's true.
It's not true. It's impossible.
Ronald Reagan was the devil and has caused the downfall of
How
America.
did Maz Kanata get Luke Skywalker's hand?
No
Not
one
hand,
knows.
lightsaber. His lightsaber. I'm sorry, his lightsaber.
I watched a movie last night and I still wonder that. I need I I I literally need to understand how that happened.
I don't think we're ever going to find out.
Will they make a movie about it? I'd be okay with that. I feel like that deserves a movie.
Well, a year from now, we're getting another Star Wars movie. By the way, I do have one thing I want, like just the one. I guess you can call this a positive note. I guess if you have to. There is apparently a single image, and Nick has not been shown this yet, so he has no idea what I'm listening to. There has been a single image released of onset of the upcoming Star Wars movie, and it's Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill together
I I
with a ray of
I really
sunshine
wonder
behind
how
them.
I wonder how they're going to handle the the loss of Carrie Fisher. It's
All of her
she's
scenes
just
have already been filmed, and there is no need to go back and reshoot.
It's still depressing. I'm depressed. I don't know how else to put that.
It is depressing. It is depressing, but I challenge anyone to look at this picture and not get a sense of hope. Like I said, the sun is shining on them. You know, she's smiling. Mark Hamill is just kind of staring off the middle distance, and then there's the dude in the background. It's a wonderful picture. It's a wonderful picture, and I think just dun 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 dun. You know, like the Leia theme is supposed to be playing here. We could play it, but copyright infringement. Anyway, just the sense of hope in this picture is incredibly high, and it's important because the last known line that was said by Carrie Fisher in the movie actually is the word hope, and it's in Rogue One. I just ruined the movie for you. It's the final line of the movie. There you go. Ha ha! I'm awesome. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. I ruined Rogue One. I managed to do it. I managed to do it with the day and a half left.
Should you really be proud of that?
Yes, I should. I really should. And there's a reason that I really should. In fact, oh, do no, I don't have the picture to put it up. It's not as if the world doesn't know this yet, but there is a CGI version of Carrie Fisher in the movie. They used an actress, kind of like they did with uh, oh, what was his name? He was in Tron. Jeff Bridges, where they used someone to as a stand-in and they CGI'd his younger face onto him. They did the same thing here with Carrie Fisher. So she does show up in the movie. Leia is in the movie, but it's 19-year-old Carrie Fisher, and she looks like a goddamn cartoon. I'm sorry. Um, but it's fine because Carrie Fisher had said more than once that she really was a cartoon. You know, she really was. Because it's cool. But yeah, Leia's in the movie. It's amazing. And and I think that because you remember I said earlier I had a Star Wars thing I wanted to bitch about.
Yeah.
It's this, and this is my final grievance for the year because there's so many things I can pick from, but I want to go with this one. Um, Disney now apparently owns the image of Carrie Fisher and the image of Peter Cushing because surprise here, Peter Cushing's Grand Moff Tarkin is also in the movie, and it is not Peter Cushing because Peter Cushing's been dead for 20 some odd years. No, it is an actor portraying him, and the Cushing version in here, if you don't pay that much attention, you can't tell. I mean, like the only thing that really throws me off is the way his mouth moves. But again, it's Peter Cushing's face plastered over a much younger actor, and the same thing with Leia, you know. But it's a wonderful homage to these people, and it's beautiful in its own way because it finally does cement together um, the storyline here. Okay, it brings this and A New Hope together because again, people who are wanting it to not be spoiled, I'm sorry, fuck you. Um, the storyline is essentially the opening crawl of A New Hope. You know, the one from 1977. It's that. That's what Rogue One is. So getting to see all these cool things added in is amazing. It's fun. But the thing that pisses me off, the thing that really worries me, is the fact that Carrie Fisher doesn't ever need to be alive again. She can still act. I mean, Tupac has been on stage as a hologram. We have Peter Cushing in a lead role in a movie a quarter of a century after his death, and now Carrie Fisher is dead, and we can still bring her back and just recycle her old lines, you know, like words she said in the past, to make it sound like she's talking again to all of us. And It's kind of goddamn terrifying that that's the world we live in. I mean, we're able to uh, digitally de-age people or create new ones and not have to worry about it anymore.
So what you're saying is Ghost in the Shell has been achieved.
Yes, yes, it has, and yeah,
Congratulations, world. You made Ghost in the Shell.
yay, yay. Oh no, also I have one final thing I wanna mention.
Okay.
Our president, our current one, is leaving in little less than a month, 20 days, in fact. But I think the best picture of him ever taken is from this year. And again, those of you watching it on stage can see it. Did I just say on stage? I meant at home. God damn. Anyway, it's a
Record
picture of
us so we
him.
can get a stage and you can stand on it.
It's what it's a picture of him standing just off stage, uh, being introduced by the father of someone whose child was killed at Sandy Hook. Of course, that was what 4 years ago. God, it's been that long. Anyway, the president described this as being his worst day in office, and I can totally understand that just looking at this one picture right here. I can totally see why that would be his worst day in office because there is just so much on this man's face. It's unreal to look at this picture and to not be able like if you can't see the solemnity and the weight of what he's about of what he's being called up to do on him. I just don't know. I mean, it's I think out of everything we could have picked for 2016 to represent what it's like for this year, I think probably the image, like this image of the president kind of says it all. It's like, here it is, look at his fucking face, and you know exactly how bad this year has been.
I'm gonna miss Obama.
I'm gonna miss him too. But you know what I'm not gonna miss, Nick?
Uh, Fascism?
Nope, nope. I'm not gonna miss 2016. I'll be glad this year is over with.
I think we all will be. Unless 2017 is even worse. And we
Well,
might miss it.
we'll find out in a day and a half. But I guess for the last time this year, I think this is probably where we're going to end the show, unless you have anything else to bitch about. Any further grievances you need to air.
No, I'm pretty good.
Yay! Okay. So again, last time this year, I'm going to be saying this. By the way, following this, if you did not see it on our page, we put together a little tribute just to some of the people, the celebrities we lost this year. It will be attached directly to the end of this, so like the outro theme and everything will probably I don't know, maybe after we haven't decided yet. We'll figure it out. You'll watch it and you'll see what we came up with. Um, it's gonna add, I don't know, like 15 minutes of your day watching this. But if you want to watch it, it's fine. If you don't watch it, it's fine. Whatever. It's posted separately on our Facebook page, which you need to go to, and you need to like our Facebook page. If you're watching us on YouTube, please remember to like this video, comment on it, share it, subscribe to our channel. Please visit our Patreon. We are only asking for $1 donation from everybody. Probably next year we'll actually update the Patreon because we're kind of it's my fault. that's not being updated regularly like it should be. But there is a reward. Like the first official. Okay, I think we said for $1, Nick would go on a date with you. Um, so I don't know. Let's say $5 or $10. You'll get uh, a handmade version of something. I don't know. Currently, the prize that I'm working on is actually a grappling gun from Batman the Animated Series. It will be built out of foam, but it's going to be sturdy and it'll be painted and it's not going to shoot. I'm sorry, I can't do that, but that'll be like a $5 or $10 reward. So like, there's our second official thing to announce on the Patreon page. So if you donate that much, you get it. Yay! And we'll pay to well, no, Nick will pay to ship it to you. So $1 gets a date with Nick, and say either $5 or $10, and you get a handmade Batman grappling gun. And then also
Wait, I
don't forget
never
to tweet
agreed to
to
that.
us, and then go to our Twitch, which we don't use anymore. Do what, Nick?
I've never agreed. I never agreed to these things.
You did say it last episode when we announced it. Or is either last or next? I don't, one of the two options there. You did agree to go on a date and pay for everything for $1.
Oh, yeah, the date I agreed to, just not the shipping.
Oh well, too bad. Sorry, it's on the internet now.
Wait, but what if it's not true?
It's on the internet now.
So everything on the internet is true?
Yes, unless you're Donald Trump, and then it's all Lugenpresse.
Wait, what?
Lugenpresse. It's a German word. It means lying press.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a word that the Nazis used, and Trump supporters have used it. So yeah, yeah, it's on the internet. It's true. So also, um, I'm thinking maybe Nick, if you want to, we could do because we haven't done one in a long time. Like I don't know, like an actual stream. I don't know, maybe some Hearthstone or something. I don't know on New Year's Eve. Something of that general nature. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Maybe.
Maybe do what I did last year. Now, granted, this was before YouTube decided to be mean and prevent us from live streaming. I live streamed leveling a character like non-stop. It was fun. It was fun. I might do it again this year. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. I'll figure something out. And if not, we'll talk to all of you. Let's see, January 2nd. Yeah. So if we survive uh uh the new year and the beginning of the new year, we'll talk to all of you on. No, wait. Monday is going to be Anime Music Monday. Holy shit! First one of the year. Ah, so many things to be to do, Nick.
Am I right?
Well,
Well,
I guess it's goodbye for this year.
goodbye, everyone. We hope next year is better. We hope. And we hope you have a good New Year's party. Don't 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 get too wild. And
Well,
let's
no,
see.
actually, we do hope you get too wild, but we hope you get too wild. You have some fun, but always remember we'll be here next year. Yay! Happy New Year, everybody! Yay! Fuck you, 2016.
Unless we all die. But we'll see. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody!